The Swerve is a film that came out in 2020 and is a dramatic character study and definitely would fall into one of the most depressing films that I have ever seen. Again, I heard some reviews on this film and it definitely piqued my interest. I do like character studies a lot and I do like independent cinema, and this is a very seemingly independent piece of cinema kind of thing, and I'm pretty sure it played at a bunch of festivals when it was released. This was streaming on Tubi and is streaming on Tubi if anybody wants to check it out. And it's quite interesting. It definitely plays off like an independent film, and very, very, very dramatic. And it definitely has some like strong, deep, how should I say, themes. There you go. Mind blank for a second. Definitely some deep themes in this film, and a lot of dark elements to this film for sure. This woman, we follow her pretty much, and I mean, the title kind of suggests something that happens in the film, but that would be spoilers. Basically, we're following her. She's raising two kids, and she's with a husband that is very neglectful, and she's feeling very isolated and ignored and depressed heavily. And she's a school teacher, and she also feels very neglected and not taken seriously by her students or her peers or her family, especially, or anybody around her, essentially. She's very, very isolated and feels very alone with the problems that she encounters. And we just follow this woman, and we see that, like, a lot of people are being very unnecessarily rude to her, but it's not really in a sense where they try to be mean. They're just, everybody's ignorant, and it really shows how ignorant people can be. Like, I'm watching this film and I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, you know what? I could be a dick sometimes. And it kind of, this film morally teaches you, like, to appreciate those around you a lot more. It's kind of like a wake-up call in a sense. There's one student in particular in her classroom that takes a little bit of a liking to her, and she finds this out when she confiscates a diary from this student, the journal or whatever, and he's misbehaving or whatever. She takes his journal, and looking through it is pictures of her in, artistic, nude, sexual poses, which is really, really awkward for the student and the teacher both. I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm like, this would be the most horrible situation of life. Um, and she's flipping through it, and you see the images. It's like, whoa, that's very awkward. But being that the student is like pretty much the only person giving her any affection, even though it's pretty strange affection and inappropriate affection, she kind of like, she takes an interest back, but she's more like flattered, and because of her extreme loneliness, she wants to pursue this, and things, get pursued. And I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, we're going there. Things are going to get really awkward. They do get really awkward. Just throwing that out there. In both cases, like with the student and her, they're both kind of, and things happen, and things can be graphically suggestive. There's no nudity in this movie, but there is things, what's going on off screen kind of thing. And it leads to a climax that's very brutal and devastating. Devastating is an understatement for the climax, but it sits with you. This film, like, the credits will roll, and you'll be sitting there thinking a lot and reflecting on everything that you just saw and witnessed happen. And it's really, really good for that. It's an uncomfortable watch. It's not something that you probably will want to rewatch a whole lot, but for the subject matter, it's pretty well done. And I mean, there's a lot more to this film than the student teacher thing. Like, that's just an element in this movie. It's not what the story is around, kind of thing, is based on. It's not. The husband character is awful, but again, like, not necessarily purposely being. He's just an ignorant bastard, essentially. And I hate the term gaslight. I think it's just one of those buzzwords that people use and use it out of context usually, but you're gaslighting me. No. But in the definition of the word gaslight, that's what he does to the woman. And because she's on medication, especially, and because she's actually suffering from depression, he uses that against her. And when she starts to raise suspicion, and even when she like catches him doing something and calls him out on it, he'll just be like, "You need to switch your meds. You're fucking crazy. You've been crazy all along. Like, you're seeing things," and and then it makes her question her own sanity, and that's fucked up. And she just, it's her versus her mind, really. It doesn't go as far as like she starts hallucinating everything kind of thing. It's more realistic than that, and it's a dark character study. That's as simple as I can put it. And I don't want to get too detailed into things that occur because that would be spoiling stuff. And like I say, anytime I talk about a film, automatically, I think anybody should, if they're interested in the film, should go watch the film without watching any reviews, because any review is a spoiler. And although I consider this a spoiler-free review, I'm still talking about a film and talking about certain details, so there's still that element. If you want to check this film out, just go and watch it. I'm not going to be saying anything in this review that's going to spoil anything, because it is a film worth watching if you're into the subject matter. And I think it's a really, really good piece of work that should get a lot more exposure and should be talked about a lot more. So, but it's heavy. It's a very, very heavy one, and it's a hard pill to swallow. And at the end, you're kind of like, yeah, life can be shit sometimes. So it's one of those. So if you know that and you're still interested, go check it out for sure. If you don't like the dark stuff and the heavy stuff, or if you're not in the mental capacity to deal with it, yeah, give this one a break, save it for another time, or don't watch it at all. But that's The Swerve from 2020. I think it's an interesting project for sure, and it's a recommend. So subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.